guys, it's Becky here at Aunt Beck's Creations. I'm going to close the door in the hopes that we can get rid of some of that lawnmower noise. I ran into a problem with getting a pot holder for this project. So you guys are going to learn how to do a pot holder, just a simple 6-inch square pot holder today. Because all the pot holders I was finding, the hanger is in the wrong place. So I am looking for something in the closet. I need bias tape, and I have a whole box of it. If I could just find it. And then we'll be good to go. That's zippers. Any other time I could get it out so easy. There we go. Bias tape. I just want to get it out so we're ready. All right. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Mary. Hi, Janet and Kendra. Woohoo! I am not going to move between the sewing machine and the work area. I need to get another camera to make this more feasible. Let me move some. I got a couple more things to move out of the way. I have to completely set up in a different place before I do this. And yeah. All right. So I'm going to leave it up to you guys. What do you want to learn to do first? Do you want to do sachets or the scissor holder? Hi, Mitzi. Hi, Eva. Yeah, I looked and looked, but you've got to, I guess we'll do that one first. I guess we'll do that first. I just was showing what we have done in previous sewing bees. For anybody that's not participated before, we've made fabric bowls that if you can find the 100% cotton batting, can go in the microwave. But don't use just that stuff called cotton. What's it called? Warm and white cotton. You have to read and make sure it says 100% cotton. And then we made a produce bag and a hedgehog, or in Mary's case, she's making a skunk. So let me show you the scissor thing that we're going to make. And it's made out of a pot holder. And you see the hanger has to be on a corner. And I thought maybe I would just buy an inexpensive one and move the holder, but they don't, it's not separate. It's just wherever they come up at the end. So we're going to make a pot holder to start. I know Mary's got, she's got some pre-quilted fabric, which if you have, excuse me, pre-quilted fabric, it makes this 100 times easier. So basically what I've done is I cut a 6x6 square and I took my corner rounder and I rounded the corners off. Okay, I've got to get a fan going on me because it's too warm in this corner. All right, let's see here. Sorry, guys, I'm not very prepared today. There we go. Now, I just booted Scott out the door, so he hasn't been gone too long. He kind of laughs at me with me running around trying to set up for this. He's like, man, you put a lot of work into just setting up. All right, so I've got scissors and pins, and we're going to make a pot holder to start with. And then we'll take the pot holder that we make and we will turn it into the scissor holder. So you need a pot holder, and then this lace here is attached afterwards, after we get it into shape. Actually, it looks like I put the lace on maybe first. It's been 25 years since I made this thing, so I'm looking at it. And I think I'm going to stitch the lace on and stitch it together. This one I used hot glue, but I think it will look nicer if you use thread and a hand needle. So if y'all don't mind sitting and watching me sew by hand, I'm going to do that. But making the pot holder, I'm going to use the sewing machine to make the layers and sew the bias tape on. All right. just to save us a little bit of time. So you've got to have a piece of batting this size, and I'm just using the Warm and White. I would normally use, what's it called? Therma something. If I was making this into a regular pot holder, there's a filler that's made just for pot holders that you can get at Joann's. I just didn't pick any up. I went in there and I got a few things the other day and I didn't think about it. I really wanted to get to the Joann's up here and get some more fabric while I had that coupon where I could save another 25%, but it's gonna have to wait. Got to wait for the funds to be there. I'm sure y'all know what that is like. Most of us have to wait for funds to be available. So I'm going to cut this out. Oh, these are not good. These need to be sharpened. Let's see if these will cut. And if these don't cut, I'll dig out there we go. That other pair, the screw is loose on them. And so when they go to close, it doesn't close properly. That little gal, Angela, that I've been watching doing the costumes and the period dresses and stuff, she's got the coolest setup. I want to show Scott. She's got her table covered in like a foam core board. And she lays her fabric out and stuff, and then she just uses push pins. And she push pins down into that foam core board. I want to do that. That would make getting back into sewing my own clothes so much easier. All right. I don't throw these out. I save these for filling little stuffed animals and stuff. So I have a bag of this stuff I'm keeping. Hi, Mark. Are you feeling any better? I sure hope so. Man, that's been going on a long time that you've been sick. All right, and I'm going to use two different kinds of fabrics, but they came out of the same collection. And this should have been pressed first, but it's a scissor holder, so I'm not going to get too bogged down in it. But normally I would press this nice and flat. I'm just going to go for the flattest portion of it. And I'm going to use this fabric too. And I'm just doing a basic pot holder that we're going to in turn turn into a scissor keeper. So if you've got a pot holder, just bear with me and we will turn this all into the scissor keeper here shortly. I'm going to pin these all together and cut the fabric out all at the same time. And yes, I could come closer to the edge if it was ironed. I know, I know. And like I said, if you're going to make pot holders, make sure you go on Joann's.com, or if you're near a Joann's, go in and tell them you want the batting that goes inside pot holders. If they know what they're doing, they'll tell you what it is. It's Therma something, and it's been so long since I worked there that I can't remember all the names of all the different interfacings. I used to know them all by heart. And when I was sewing all the time, I knew all that stuff too. All right. A lady that worked for me when I was a manager at Joann's, she brought in some electric scissors to use at the store, and she used them for years. And one day a new district manager came in and he said, "You can't use those here. You can't use those here." And I was like, well, she's been using them here for years. And I wasn't working there anymore, but I was standing there when he was reading her the Riot Act. I said, she has problems with her hands and the electric scissors save her. But I don't think I could cut anything but straight lines with electric scissors. I'm afraid they'd go out of control. This doesn't have to be 100% perfect because you're going to put bias tape on the edges. Man, it sounds like that guy's mowing rocks out there. Anyway. All right. So let's get this on here. I'm going to quickly turn this into a pot holder. All right. So let's see. You want one fabric, print side down. You want your batting. This is just a simple square pot holder. You could make up, you know, a group of 4 of these and give them as a gift. The pot holders make great gifts for, you know, young brides at a bridal shower or at a wedding gift, or even at Christmas. If you give cookies, I would suggest adding a couple pot holders that they could use, you know, later after they've eaten the cookies. You could do up one of our little soup bowl baskets, put a couple pot holders in it, and then a little bag of cookies, like a half dozen cookies. Because let's face it, that's basically all we really need is just a few cookies. Because by the time Christmas comes and goes, we're about sick of baked goods. All right. Now, to do the diamond shape, I'm going to make one line across here, and then I'll just kind of eyeball the rest. Because like I said, this is not going to be anything, you know, it's not going to be anything permanent and fantastic. Let's see. Here's a pencil. And, you know, Scott brought me that long ruler the other day. And then when we cleaned up, I found the other big one that I bought for myself laying atop my unit over here. I had forgotten. I found this one. I paid $3.79 for this, but it's got metric and you know, United States. What do they call them? What's the opposite of metric? I used to know. Let's see, I'll do, and I'm using just a pencil because I want just a light line. And do an X. And then I'll just come over a little bit from it and do 2 more lines, eyeballing it as good as I can. So I'll be right back. I'm going to stitch my X and do my lines, and then I'll show them to you. I still got my walking foot on here, so it'll make a lot of noise. Can't hardly see my own line. If I had another camera, I'd just move y'all, but it's just makes y'all dizzy when I do that. All right, go this other way. Oh, maybe. If I had my quilter's guide on here, I could just use it as my guide, but I don't have it hooked up. So I'm just going to kind of do my best to eyeball it and hope I get little diamonds when it's over with. And I'm wasting thread like crazy trying to hurry here. The New Englander in me is saying, "You're wasting thread." And I can hear my grandmother and my great aunts just a fussing at me about it. right, I gotta go the opposite way now, and I've got thread tails everywhere that are gonna have to be trimmed before we can go on. But if you're not comfortable with eyeballing, I would just suggest using a ruler and marking a grid off if you don't have a quilt guide for your sewing machine. Like I said, this is not going to be perfect. Boy, I've got threads everywhere. All right, one more. I'm also kind of stalling for the mailman because I ordered lavender to go in the sachets, and it's supposed to be delivered today, but you know, you never know. So we'll see if the mail lady shows up. I'll get a trash can over here. Trim all these threads. All right. See, I did a grid. See it? All right. Hi, Cindy. Oh, if you lived close, I'd give you sewing lessons. I've been sewing since the age of 9. That comes from being raised by my grandmother and great aunts in my life. And my great aunt Nellie did quilts, and my grandma didn't sew a whole lot. She had a sewing machine to patch jeans and that kind of stuff. But then I took every home ec class I could in high school. And I had signed up for Fashion 1 and 2. And then me and my best friend Pickle, we were the only one. That's her nickname. We were the only ones that signed up. So they made us take something else. So there's that. Now we need a bias tape to go around the edges since I couldn't find a stinking pot holder with the hanger in the corner. Let's see. I want bias, not double fold, not this other stuff. And it needs to be narrow. Let's see. I'm just digging right now. I should have checked the bias tape stash before I got started, I think, because I don't think I have anything that's going to match. Even with all this stuff I've been picking up at thrift stores over the years, you'd think I'd have something. This is only a single fold bias tape. Let me see. Oh, and if anybody's wondering, when you get a quilt, if the quilt has strips of fabric not cut on the bias as the binding on it, I would not buy it, because bias binding, if it gets a little frayed, it'll reach a point where it'll stop. If it's stripped piece, where it's just straight across the width of the fabric, the entire binding will come undone on you. I don't think this is going to work because it's single fold, and I don't know that it's wide enough that I can make it work. Let's see. It's awful little. Let's see if I can make it work. So you open up this side and lay it against here, and then you would stitch in the little valley. And then once it's stitched down, you could flip the whole thing over so it would cover, but I don't think this is wide enough to cover everything. And another thing with bias binding, it'll turn a corner when, you know, straight strips are not going to turn a corner. All right. I'm going to attempt this because I don't really have anything else in the right color. And see, even this is just, I don't know how I ended up with so much single fold instead of double fold bias tape. A lot of this is just going to get covered anyway, and I think the pink will work better. All right, I'm going to do my best here. I'm going to try to treat it as double fold and just fold it over, but I don't know that that's going to work. And I am starting in a corner because that's where I want the little hanger thing to do. I'm just afraid this is not wide enough. All right. All right, I'm going to take it over to the machine and see how I can do with it. Oh, Cindy, I hate to hear that. That's not a good thing. It's all this rain. We're going to be getting rain for the rest of this week. Tanya sent it up from Florida for us. Yeah, it's supposed to rain and rain and rain. I'm not actually sewing this in that little ditch since it's so narrow. I'm trying to give myself a little bit of extra to work with. I don't know if it's going to work or not. We'll see. I was kind of glad Scott went back to work because, man, he was ill as a hornet today. All these people kept getting in his way at Walmart, just stopping and walking right in front of him. I thought he was going to come unglued. Of course, I wasn't holding it together myself too well. It was like, I'm trying to hurry. I got to get back to the house. I've got things to get ready. I've got to do all this stuff before 2. Just remember, when you reach your corners, put your needle down into the fabric, like I was talking about the other day. Even if you can only go a couple stitches, and then put it back down in the fabric until you're back going straight again. I hope I didn't just catch it funny. I'm just sitting here thinking, if I wish those stupid pot holders would just have the hanger in the right place, I wouldn't have to make a pot holder. All right. I'll show you what I've done. All right. I stitched just along the edge. It looks kind of wonky, but when you turn this over, you're not going to see your wonky stitches. And then I'll just stitch along from the other side. Right. To get the corners to turn good, all you got to do is put a couple little snips to the stitching, but not through the stitching. And then that'll turn easier for you. I might cut some of this batting away. All right. Hi, Kathy. Just make sure you don't snip through your stitches or you'll have a hole there. Did I miss some? I think I grabbed, yeah, these are the loose ones again. I grabbed the loose ones. All right. So I'm going to go ahead. I might actually flip the corners a little bit here. Oh, I'm going to flip it back over to this other side, and I'm going to put a few pins in here and there. You're busy hand stitching? You working on Pierre, or are you working with me? Or not Pierre, but Pepe. Normally when you flip bias tape to the back side, that's what you do, is you would hand stitch it down. So you wouldn't see any of the stitches. It would just be smooth. But because I'm trying to use what I have on hand and cheat, I'm going to machine stitch this since I've got the walking foot on. So you'll be able to see my top stitching, but it's okay. It's almost better when you're trying to show somebody. I'm putting way too many pins in here, but it's all right. I keep grabbing those ones that are just ready to be pitched. If I can't find somebody. There used to be a man that would come into Joann's and pick up scissors and sharpen them, but I don't know if they still do that or not. It's been a lot of years since I worked there. And, you know, things change. It's like us driving by Scott's old job at Bose, and it's not anything even to do with electronics anymore. It's some kind of leggings company, y'all told me. All right. See, the corners is where the hand stitching. Oh, see, I missed it right there. We'll cover that with lace. That I just needed wider bias tape. That's what happened there. I'll cover that little boo-boo up with some lace. I see I missed the fabric, so I've got a little place there. Yeah, we're going to make this once I get this pot holder made, because I needed a pot holder with the hanger in the corner, and all of them at Walmart was like in the middle of the pot holder, and that wouldn't work to get your cone shape, because you want to be able to hang this up and then put your scissors in it like that. And if you don't want to sew these, they can be made with hot glue too. I just had the machine is here. It's got thread in it. There's another spot where I messed up. Just need wider bias tape. But if I can make it work, I'll hide all my boo-boos under lace here in a minute. All right, I need to chop some of this off. I'm going to leave about, it looks like 3 inches of bias up here to fold over to hang. There we go. But like I said, this bias tape is stuff I've picked up at flea markets, thrift stores, and that kind of stuff. Because I figure on just, you know, things like this. Or is this one the bad one? I don't know. They're all bad, I guess. They all need to be sharpened is the problem. Yeah, if I could have found a pot holder with the hanger in the right place, we'd be making the end result already instead of me making a pot holder out of the blue. but I guess it's okay. We can cross pot holder off our list too. This one wouldn't be good for a pot holder because I don't have enough batting or the right kind of batting in it. It's not thick enough. You'd get burnt with this. But we're just going to shove scissors in it, so it doesn't matter. I could swap out feet and do a zigzag over this, but I think that would add too much bulk for the next step. All right. And I'm going to do the hanger exactly as it is on this one, where you just sew on up and then just turn the bias over. Ow! That felt great. Great, great, great. I should have come up around a little bit farther. All right. So I'm just going to go over to the sewing machine and I'm just going to sew all along the edge here, all the way around. And I'm going to start by sewing this closed and then get on this part here and go around. And then once that's closed and I'm done sewing, I'll fold this down and we'll just tack it in place right there. And then that'll give you the hanger to hang your scissors up on the wall or from your lamp or however you want to do it. Be right back with you. One day I'll be set up to where I can show every little thing. I guess this would be the part where this kind of thing would probably be better done as a tutorial standalone video. So I could show all the sewing too. Come on. Got my pin box. My son went to see that movie Venom. He said it's very good. He really enjoyed it. He's fond of saying, "Mom, let's go see a movie." And then he takes me to some horror movie, and I hate horror movies. And then he laughs when I cover my head. And I'll say, "Is it over?" And he'll say, "Yeah." And then I'll lift my hand up, and the little demon will get me every time. I should know better not to trust him. He gets me to uncover my eyes right at the scariest, goriest thing. Brat. Ow. I'm beginning to think I need to be wrapped in, shark suit or something. Before I tack the hanger down, I will show you guys what I've got. I need to make a Joanne list for the next time we're down at the house, and I'll just go to the store I used to work at. At the end, I do a few back stitches just to lock it all in place. So this is what I have. Okay, so I have a pot holder now. Got some spare threads here we need to trim away. And I missed a little bit here and went a little wonky. And it looks like my machine is not stitching quite right, but we're basically done. I'm going to take this and turn it so it lays flat down here, and then just do some stitches across it to hold it in place. And I'll just stitch it there. And then that'll give me a hanger, and we'll do the next part. If I can ever get rid of all these tails. So any questions? That's one loud machine. Kathy, I have a walking foot on it. So it's got the foot on it that makes additional noise. Sorry about that. Yeah, he's a big brat. He's 6'3" and he thinks it's hilarious to scare me. Let's see what we... She's working with me, Mary is. Oh, you got you a set going, huh? All right, so let me stitch across this. I think I'm going to quickly, now that I'm not doing a bunch of layers, basically the walking foot is for when you're doing layers of fabric. And right there, I'm going to cover that up with lace. It's driving me crazy. So this is not 100% perfect, but it's done. So we can do what we came to do. I've just got to give me a minute to take this walking foot off so it'll quit making quite so much noise. Oh, please don't come all the way out like you did the other day, because that took forever. Get you to wiggle loose. There we go. And then I need to put my other foot back on. This one here. Let's take it off. Every time I have to do a screw or a bolt or anything, I have Scott's voice in my head, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. This will quiet this down a lot. I want to make sure I get that on tight enough that it's... This machine needs to go in and be cleaned and oiled and stuff. All right. Okay, so now, let's see. We got to stitch this. Now I can do a zigzag to stitch this down. The walking foot, I don't think I can do it, or maybe I can. I don't know. But let me see if I can fix this now here. No. Come on. Let's do about a 2. Come on. All right. So this is the part where you could, if you had fabric glue or whatever, you could do it. Let's move this out of the way. think I'll get a lot of use out of that great big ruler. All right, I'm going to take these out of here. So now when you look at your pot holder to do this, you got to have, it's hard to describe. We're going to, let's see. It's been a while. Let me look at it. All right, you're going to make a cone. So like here's your hanger, and you're going to roll it so there's a cone here. And you could pin it, but I want to put my lace on first, I think. So you've got it, so it looks like a snow cone. And the lace has to start on the inside of here. And then as it comes up, you've on this front section right here, you've got to kind of have lace wide enough to kind of go from where it catches just on the inside and then folds over so that you cover the edge of the scissor holder. And then when you get down to this other side, you want it to come down again. So I don't know that I chose a lace that's quite wide enough again. No, I didn't. Let me see what else I've got. I've got lace, so that's not a problem. It's just finding the right one. Well, that gives us a nice light. Let's get the big bag of lace out here. And you kind of want something that's pre-gathered, not flat. So something more like this than this. You don't really want a flat lace. You want something that's going to be kind of frilly. Let's use this pink lace. I think there's enough there to do it. So a ruffled lace or any kind of trim you have. If you've got pom-pom trim, that could be cute too. Oh, Kathy, okay. Bump the table. Go get you something to eat. Let's see. So this one, I guess you could put it just on the very edge, but the problem is it needs to be sewn on the back side. So when we put the two together, we'll fold this lace over and stitch down the front. But for right now, whatever is the back of your pot holder, go ahead and put your lace, attach it, whether you're going to hand sew or hot glue, put it on the back edge. Whatever will be on the inside here, put your lace along that edge. And you just put it on there, up and over. So let's look at it again. All right. So you're going to do some lace from this corner up past your hanger and then over to this corner, and you would stop here, because when you do your lace that comes up here, you're going to sew this lace on after you sew the cone into shape. Well, I'll show you as we get there. In fact, I think I wouldn't even bother with this coming up this far. I would just put a strip up the front, because you're going to be on the, basically what's going to happen is you're going to be on the opposite side of the pot holder for this strip of lace. But we'll get there. Let's just get the lace from this corner to this corner. I'm trying to think too far ahead. I don't want to confuse you totally. I can tell you what my lace width is, and this width is going to work good. About 1.25 inches. 1.25 inches. Because you want it to look frilly at the top. All right. So I'm looking at this again to see which way. All right. So you want it to poke up like this. So you want the lace to face away, the edge of the lace to face away from your pot holder. Does that make sense? I need to move this so I can pin it. And I'm just going to pin and stitch this on with the machine. And then I might do the tacking work by hand. Or you can hot glue this on or use like fabric tack. That would work on this. Just the glues are going to be like on this one that I made years ago. It's kind of crunchy and hard. Mary's basting away over there. You're welcome, Mindy. So it seems like you guys are enjoying the sewing fun. I looked up because I got to thinking about Lucia and her tiny little grandbaby. And there is a pattern available for any of anybody that's interested on the internet to make the little tiny gowns for the NICU patient babies. And they're so tiny and cute. But they ask that you don't use any metal. And you want to use soft fabrics, but nothing that's going to, give away lint or any of that they could aspirate. And they're just the cutest little things. So I've got mine pinned on, and I'm going to take it to the machine, and I'm going to just stitch on. So it'll be attached. And then I'm going to sew my cone around together by hand. So I'll pin that together, and then I'll just get some thread and stitch it. And then I'll add the lace down the front, and then we'll fold this over and tack it down, which is the thread. See, it's going to be like that. And then that's just about it, unless you want to add, like I did, this little ribbon kind of concoction bow, and there's some fake pearls on here and one of those little ribbon roses. Linda McAllister, hello. I figured you'd be getting ready to go to bed at this point of the day. So glad you could make it. All right, I'll be right back. I'm going to sew this, and hopefully this is a little bit quieter without the walking foot on it. Oh, no, not. I don't want zigzag. I forgot I had zigzag on here. There we go. Quieter. Of course. Scott says, you're a speed demon on that machine. Ta-da! Of course, I've got threads going everywhere again. Well, I'm almost glad I couldn't find a pot holder now because this is a whole lot prettier than any old plain pot holder. All right, let me get a couple pins. Oh, spell check, yeah. Yeah. It can make you say things you didn't mean to say, that's for sure. All right, so I'm going to overlap the front two pieces. So this is the right side with the lace pointing up toward me. You're going to kind of bring it over, and then you're going to overlap the left side by about a ½ inch. All right. And we're going to turn it into an ice cream cone, basically. So what you'll do is I'm going to try to pin this if I can. Try not to jab yourself. That's my favorite thing to do today, it seems. All right, so you just want to make sure it closes at the tip. Like you don't want your Nutty Buddy ice cream to, lose all the chocolate out the bottom. I'm just going to put 2 pins in here, and the rest of it I will just manage as I sew. And I'm going to sew this by hand, and then that way I can watch chat. And I'm only going through the 2 layers, not through the back. And I'll probably start my sewing down here at the tip just so that I can keep control of it. I don't know, that's going to be sewing backwards for me. That's where I would like to start. But now if you're using hot glue, if you pin it together, it makes it a little easier. Just put a little glue on, close them together and hold it, and then just do that all the way up through. But I'm going to stitch mine. Well, hi, Gina. Mary, I can't wait to see it. Now, hand needles. This living between 2 houses is getting to be really quite aggravating. I have a whole box of hand needles. Because after all, when you work at Joann's, you buy everything when it's on sale over and over and over, and people give you stuff, and I have a few hand needles. Let's see. These are all really long. That one's not too bad. And a needle threader. Mary, I need to send you a needle threader. They make your life so much easier. And I'll just snitch thread off my sewing machine behind me. Yeah, I had, who was showing the clips? Somebody was showing the clips today that they got in. Who was it? I think it was Josie Gito. She was showing some books. I think she got in some of those clips. What's bad is you got to be able to see still to put it through the hole. There we go. Oh, you bought some cheap ones? Okay. Yeah, because these ones here, they work, and that's all that matters. They may not last very long because they'll pull out sometimes, but they do help. My grandmother had the one. It looked almost like, I don't know what you'd call it, a chimney, and you'd put your needle down in it and then lay your thread across between the back of it and the needle. There was a little slot, and you put your thread across there, and then there was a little button, and I guess it would just push it through, and you just have to keep pushing on that button until it went through. Hi, Dawn, you made it. Hi, River City Creative. How are you? And I'm probably just going to do like a whip stitch, just in and over and in and over. Nothing fancy or anything. No blanket stitches needed on this. You're not going to see the stitching. So basically you just have to stitch it together. And I don't want my snow cone chocolate or my chocolate in my ice cream, Nutty Buddy ice cream cone here to come falling out. So I'm going to, that is just the pits when you're eating one of those and all that goo comes out the bottom because the bottom breaks off or there's a hole in it. Nope, 2 Eastern. I'm Eastern. Mary's Central. I heard Mary say 2 Central, and I was like, oh, I hope she sees me. Because I knew Mary had talked that she was coming today, and I wasn't sure. Now, this is where having something about this shape would be nice, because you could shove it in there and then just sew away. But I don't have anything here. Or do I? I don't think I do. Because you don't want to sew it closed. And I'm going to cover all of this mess up with the lace that goes down the front. I guess I could be dual duty and be sewing the lace on at the same time, but I'm not feeling that. I'm not feeling it today. I don't even remember where I found this pattern to do this. Yeah, you said 2 Central, and I was like, no, Mary. 2 Eastern. I can't remember which video it was in. It was whatever was the last one you put up. But everybody seems to be finding me, so that's fine. No biggie. And if they missed the first part, there's always the replay. Because the rain is coming, I'm having trouble controlling where my fingers want to go. So bear with me. Really wish I had a cone. A styrofoam cone would be nice. Just shove it in there, and then I could just, because I'm trying to just catch the fabric of the front of the pot holder on this side of it, because I don't want to go through it. I'm doing a Frankenstein stitch. That's what it feels like. It's not very neat. There we go. Now I can get my finger down in there. Well, hi, Gloria. I like it better when I can control where the needle's going a little better. This reminds me of sitting and watching my Aunt Nellie darn socks. And she had that thing that you would put in the sock to do the darning, you know, that would keep like a heel rounded so that, you know, your stitches wouldn't look horrible. Oh. Oh no, you're flooding? Well, from the sounds of it, we're going to see a lot of water Tanya said it's been raining like crazy, and she was already about underwater from the last storm. So my sister-in-law has a house in Cape Coral, and I don't know how she's been faring down there with that house. I don't know how she does it. I couldn't own that many properties and be worrying about whether they're still standing and all of that stuff. But I guess I should have grabbed pink thread, but it's okay. You know, they make it sound like that storm was going to bring a ton of rain all up onto the East Coast as well as it moves up. I hope that mail lady brings my lavender. If not, I'm going to be shoving rose petals that I chopped up from the 2 bouquets Scott got me over the last couple of years. I got one of those mini food processor chopper things for my 5 years at Michael's. That was my big whoop-de-doo gift because I didn't want the jewelry because I'm not a jewelry wearer much. I've got my wedding band and my engagement ring. That's about all I stick on anymore, unless we're going somewhere, and then I'll wear a necklace. But most of the rewards they had for the 5-year were rings and things like that. And I do so much with my hands that rings are just impossible. I'm glad to see Ethel coming and going a bit today. She was all darkened up the other day. I need to go over and sit and talk with her some, I think. She lost her husband a few months back, and she's 80. Have to get a hold of her and drag her out to dinner or something. We can go up to whatever this seafood place is up here. All the older folks seem to love it. It's not as good as the seafood at the beach, just saying. Hi, Vicky. See, there's my Frankenstein stitches. Yeah, and I just realized I forgot to get rid of the automatic focus for Janet. Sorry, Janet. Hopefully it's not making you too sick. Okay, good, good. Just let me know if it starts bothering you guys and I'll turn it off. Oh, now I've gone into, the stitches have to be even. No, they don't. All those yards. Every time I do hands work, I think about all those yards of braided trim I did on that medieval gown I made for my sister. It's like, oh, I hope she got lots of wear out of that thing because, man, that was time consuming. It was pretty when I got done. Keep thinking if I can find the pictures of it, I would post them, but most everything I have is just either boxed up or misplaced at the moment. Can't wait to have a house where I can have a place for everything and keep it in its place. All right, so I'm at the top and I've got my cone shape. So now my scissors could hang from it just like that. But I want to add some lace to cover my boo-boo here where I missed that. I needed to have done this first. Uh-oh. Well, let's see here. Tell you what, I'm going to fix this real quick. Because you need to, when you get back around over here, you actually need to turn this lace over the edge before you stitch all the way up. So I'm just going to, because it is just a slip stitch, I cut my needle loose and I'm just going to pull my threads out. And it'll be a little hard to get it threaded, but I'll do it. I want to take them out enough that I can get my lace folded over evenly. 2 more stitches should do it. All right, let's see. You can see where this is popping open, but I'll fix that here in a minute. All right, so I'm going to tuck that lace in, and then I'll finish my stitching on up. Let's see if I can rethread this now. Your basting consists of a glue gun. Yeah, I did the first scissor holder that I made years ago is all done with the glue. But I thought I'd try stitching on this one. I didn't feel like getting burnt today. So in turn, I've been jabbing myself with pins. I'm my own voodoo doll. Yeah, it's time for an eye exam when you can't even see with your glasses on. Yeah. I'm past due for my eye exam. I need to go. Especially with the, I have enlarged nerve endings in my right eye that they're watching. So I need to get my fanny in there and get my yearly checkup. And I finally have a really wonderful eye doctor, so I don't mind seeing Catherine Bowden. If I had my choice, I'd see all women doctors. My dentist is a woman. My eye doctor is a woman. I had a woman doctor, and then she up and left the practice. And so now I have a nurse practitioner, but because of the diabetes and other health issues, I'd really prefer seeing a doctor, maybe even an internist, because the lady doctor we had, she was an internist. She was really thorough, and she said, you work with me, I'll work with you. And that was the first time I've ever had a doctor that would say they would work with me. So I was so shocked when they said she had left. But it seems to be a problem because Scott went and he found himself a new doctor. I just tied a knot. If y'all didn't know what I did, you put your needle in, and then I just take the thread and wrap it around a couple times and pull it through, and it'll tie a knot. But the doctor he found is up and retiring. So then he said, well, I'll see the lady doctor that's here and then get my wife to come over. Oh, we're not sure she's staying either. And it's like, for crying out loud, does anybody like to be a doctor anymore? Yes, it's going to be a scissor holder. I'll show you. They look like this. And you can hang them on your wall and put your scissors in them. This one's like 25 years old. So, yeah. And I said, does anybody want to learn to make these last week during our live? And they said, sure. So that's what we're doing. All right. So now I'm going to add the lace. And it looks like we want the lace to point off this way. So I'm just going to put some lace to cover my boo-boo too. I have a boo-boo there where it's popping through. And we won't see it once I cover this up here. I think I'm going to just sew it so it covers the binding like that. So I'm going to say I need about this much. That mail lady better hurry up and bring my lavender. That's all there is to it. And we can add the silk rose and some ribbon and the pearls too, if you guys want to. I think I have some here somewhere. I need some more thread. Thank you, Mary. I'm actually pulling from my bobbin thread. I thought I was pulling from the top thread. Scott said, I just got an email. And I said, yeah. He said, of course, I'm on vacation. So they've lined up a whole bunch of training for me. As soon as I hit the door, I've got to do all this training and go to a meeting. So yeah, he was like, I don't want to go. I want to stay with you. It's like, too bad. Go, sucker. Oh, that's awesome, Janet. Yeah, if I had been able to find a pot holder with the hanger in the right place, I would have skipped this whole make a pot holder thing. But that's all right, I guess. We're making it work. I just folded under the lace a little bit, and I'm just doing a tack stitch just to kind of hold it under. And then I'm just going to start sewing it on here. I might actually, I was thinking I might whip stitch over the stitches I just put in there to hold this down there. Sorry, I'm probably not where y'all can see. It'll catch on the lace until I get down a little bit. You need to make smaller scissor holders. Well, you'll have to make you some mini pot holders, like maybe 3.5 inches square. Are you talking about for your tiny little, the ones like look like a bird, or are you doing your fussy cut scissors, or? You could almost do, if you're doing like for a collection of scissors, you could almost do just little pockets. We'd have to I'd have to sit and figure out how to make triangular pockets, but we could do that. That could be fun. Have to do math and stuff though. That could be cute. A little wall hanging for your little scissors. That could be really cute. Sorry guys, I have to fiddle with it to get it to lay down the way I want it to. It's so hard to show hand sewing on here because I don't have like 4 different cameras and things like that. This is where I need something to shove into it again. Oh, she asked a question. Yes. Yes, Isla, you can. You can use your glue gun. Just don't burn yourself. Because this one is 25 years old or older, and it was made entirely with a glue gun. I just didn't want to mess with the glue gun today. So you most certainly can. All of this, the lace is put on with the glue gun, everything. I was making a bunch of these. I think my sisters all got one, at least the ones that sew. If you want to glue gun it, you go ahead. That's fine. And like I said, if you wanted to, you could put it together with fabric tech too. The only thing is you've got to give that time to set in between each little step. And I wanted y'all to be able to have something, that you could use as soon as we're done. And I'm only going through the first layer of fabric, but I've reached that point where I can't reach the bottom of the cone shape anymore. In fact, this here on the back here where I missed stitching the bias tape on, I might just pop a little glue under that and glue it down so it doesn't come undone. Not that it would, because all this is going to do is hang on a peg and hold scissors. But if I was giving it to somebody, I would make sure it was all perfect. It's just, it's been so long since I made one. And I just like the stitching because it's softer. The glue gun will make a hard end result. I mean, this is pretty stiff. And a lot of that has to do with the fact I used glue on it. Oh dear. Is it the kind of case that turns? Because there's a little opening where the needles will fall out when you get to the size you want. If it's the round one, it'll have like that tiny little opening, and the whole 2 layers twist on that one, if it's the same one that I'm thinking you have. That used to be my most favorite thing to stock at Joann's when I was the merchandise manager there. I just loved the Dritz boxes. They were so easy to stock. I'm one of those aggravating people that if I do what they call a planogram or a set, I would remember what was on every single peg. At once the set was done, I would say, oh, okay, that's right here. And I would not know the peg number, but I could tell you exactly where it was within each section. But I don't know who's got management of my old Joann store where I used to manage, because it was a wreck. It didn't look like anybody was doing any recovery. I'm trying to decide how I'm going to finish the end. I'm thinking I might just fold the lace under so that I'm not wasting any lace. It's all used here. And just stitch it over the very end. I can see Isla now. Hot dog, I'm going to go get the glue gun. That's the bad part about hand sewing too. You got to get it so close to your eyeballs. I'm thinking I might sneak in the back here and just tack down the back edge. I don't know. Let's see what it looks like. So Yeah, a needle keeper could be a fun project. You could make just a little book of felt, Mary, and then just put your needles in that. Those are a lot of fun to make. In fact, I think I shared some in a video years ago that I did some hand bead work on. They were a lot of fun to make. I've changed my mind. I'm just going to tie it off down here and not worry that I can see the... All of this has to do with the fact I was trying to use stuff I already had on hand without purchasing a whole bunch of new stuff, trying to use up a bunch of this stuff so I don't have to move it again. That's the key. I moved it up here just so I wouldn't be bored while Scott was at work. At least I won't have to move it 100 miles again. It'll just have to be a few miles if and when we find a house up here. See, I'm still thinking. Oh, well, we're going to go with it. I'm just going to run my needle up into it a ways so that the tail is caught inside the fabric. And I've already tied a knot, and then I'll just snip this away. That way the tail's not sticking out to come undone. And then I'll just tack this down here in a couple places. And then that's basically the scissor holder there, done to hang on the wall. A matching needle keeper to go with your scissor holder. See, that's driving me crazy. I don't know why it's bothering me so much. So I'm going to tack these down here. Just a couple little tack stitch. It doesn't have to be a lot. In fact, I could probably use what I have here. Oh. Oh no. I'm so sorry, Isla. It's like the doctors know when we're feeling bad. That's when they want to, oh, you're feeling bad? Poke, poke, poke. Boy, it's getting dark here really quick. I think I'll take one more stitch and then tie it off. I like it to look kind of frilly at the top where it's hanging. There we go. This needs some tacking here. It's running amok. All right. Might tack that over the top of that. Oh, bye, Gina. Yeah, we're doing Tuesdays now for a little while. Tuesdays at 2. All right, do you guys want to add the ribbon and the rose and all of that to the front, or just leave it frilly and lacy? Good night, Linda. Linda is in New Zealand, I believe. It is 3:30 here, but Linda's a lot later than us because she's over there. You might add charms. So the final embellishment, I'll leave up to you guys. You guys embellish yours any way you want to, because basically that's all you got to do at this point. You can add all kinds of stuff to it if you want to. I'm just kind of doing a big running stitch to tack some of this down. Go down a ways and then pop back up through the lace, just to kind of tack it down here and there. We went to Inky's yesterday and had hoagies, and I had a ham one, and it, oh my gosh, it was good, but it was so much. And Scott got a steak and cheese one. We ate way too much bread yesterday, so we were both having tummy problems last night. So no bread for the rest of this week. Lots of veggies. No prepared breads and stuff. Oh, and this, I was going to get a spaghetti squash, and they looked horrible at the store. You can tell it's the end of the season on that kind of stuff. The coloring was all off, and the skin didn't look right. And I told Scott, never mind. We'll just skip that for now. I might check at Bilo. We don't have a real great selection as far as grocery stores up here near us. If I wanted to drive to the other side of Greenville, there's a little bit better selection to choose from. And there's a World Market on the other side of the town, but I don't like to drive over there by myself because traffic gets a little crazy. All right. I'm just tacking the lace down to cover up my bright pink bias tape a little better on the front, but then I might leave it. That other one, I trimmed the lace at the bottom, but I think I'm going to leave this one long. Tie it off. Who all wants to make sachets? You can stick them in your glove box. You can put them in your, undergarments drawer. If you're giving a gift to someone, tuck one in, as long as they're not, sensitive to smells. You don't want to do that. I just like to throw them in all of my drawers, not just my undergarments. You'll catch up with the sachets later? All righty. Mary wants to finish her scissor keeper. I'm just going to put a couple tacks in here. Scott, through his company, through his benefits package, we have a program on the telephone. It's called JIF. And you can, if you take their medical surveys and that kind of stuff, you can get a discount on your benefits. And one of the benefits that's tacked onto that app is you can get Fitbits. So at a discounted rate. So I got a Fitbit, and mainly to see if I could up my activity level a little bit and to see where my sleeping is, because this thing tells me how many hours a night I'm in deep sleep, REM sleep, or light sleep. And then it also says how many hours you're awake every night. It says I wake over an hour at various times, adding up. I wake up an hour's worth of my overnight time. That's a lot, where I'm not in, good deep sleep or anything. See, I could have tacked a few more on that side. I think it's okay, or a few less on this side. But there's my scissor keeper. And they'll hold several pairs. You don't have to just stick with one. I made enough so I could put my my straight cutting shears in them and my pinking shears. So that's that. And you can, like I said, you can add whatever embellishment you want around and on it. So that was that. And I had, like I said, I was hoping that mail lady would bring my lavender I ordered, but she hasn't. So we're going to use the smashed up roses. I'll set this aside and we'll show it again at the end. So I used my little food processor, and I did that to my rose petals that I had, so I can fill my sachet with some rose petals. If I had some rose scented essential oil, I could put just a couple drops in there and squeeze it around, but they still smell pretty good, and those roses are quite a bit older. And I'm probably going to do these sachets all on the machine. Let me put this needle back in the case. I pulled this out because I thought it was real pretty. This is some fabric my sister gave me. She basically brought me all these scraps and said, "Can you use these?" And I was like, "Of course." I think I will just cut this off here. I just made a little sort of pattern, and I did it the size of an artist trading card because I thought that would be a sweet size for a sachet. So I'm going to cut out, I think I got enough here. I can make 2 sachets. I might just fold it again. I think I can cut out 4 layers, okay. And I'm only going to use a 1/4 inch seam allowance on these. It's pretty thick. Cardstock I used. All right. These will end up being 2.5 by 3.5 by the time we get the 1/4 inch seam. Actually, it should have been, no, they'll be smaller than that. They'll be 2 by 3 inches is all, because I should have made this 3 by 4, and then you would have ended up with a 2.5 by 3.5 inch sachet. So if you want to make yours ATC size, add a 1/2 inch, because you got to take into account a 1/4 inch here and a 1/4 inch here and a 1/4 inch here and a 1/4 inch at the top. So you have to take into account all of those for the seam allowances. So there, I've cut out 2, and I'm going to take them apart here and put them right sides together. And these are so easy. All we're going to do, you're going to sew around 3 sides. Then you'll trim your corners at an angle so that they'll fold out evenly. Then we'll just turn it right side out, shove some roses in it. Then we'll tuck in our 1/4 inch at the top, lay a little lace across it, and then just top stitch. And then you'll have a cute little sack of rose petals to shove in a drawer somewhere. I like to put things like this in a desk drawer because there's always something in a desk that if you don't have something in there to absorb some smells or replace some smells, old desks can smell really funky. Just saying. Yeah, throw some in your glove box. That would be awesome. But I would make these the 3x4, cut out 3x4 inch rectangles so that you'll end up with a finished sachet just a little bit larger than this. These are going to be kind of tiny. These might work in your car though, Mary. And these are another thing that if you've got a family member that likes this kind of stuff, that isn't allergic to smells or whatever, these make a cute little gift. Put like a half dozen of them in a gift bag. Thought I heard the mail lady. Got all excited over nothing. All right, I'm going to stitch these. I'll be right back with you. I got my chair up here that has wheels, so I can move around on this. Oh, that's not the 1/4 inch foot. Hang on. That's going to give me too wide a seam. Oh, where is it? Where is it? There it is. 1/4 inch foot looks like this. And it will only sew straight. It doesn't have a slot for it to do zigzags. So always make sure when you switch to a 1/4 inch foot that you make sure you're not on any zigzag, because it only has a hole for the needle to go straight up and down. And you will make a mess and ruin your machine if you don't. I just need a scrap of material. Here we go. To start off on. Since these are so tiny. Yeah, I would make them just a little bit larger. I'll show you why here in just a second. These are going to be tiny. You might even want to do 3.5 by 4.5. See, then I'm just going to snip the corner on these corners. Oh, that's so nice, Isla. Congratulations. You are not making 16 skunks. Oh, there was a skunk dead in the road on our way home the other day. It was bad. All right, Gregory. Hey, bud, I'm live. All right, you okay? Oh. Oh, goodness. Well, call me when you go on break later. Yeah, we do get kind of crazy. All right. Well, bye. Love ya. Bye. He had to tell me about a Monty Python skit that was stuck in his head. Yes, we raised the kid on Monty Python. Sorry, guys. And keep in mind, he is 32 years old, so. See, it's going to be a tiny little sachet. Now, the trick. How am I going to get all that? How am I going to get those roses in there without making a total mess? I brought this measuring cup in, but I think I might need a spoon instead. Oh, the people that keep the skunks as pet, I think they have their scent glands removed. I'd hate to be that vet and have to do that job. Let's try this. A paper cone funnel. Oh, laundry. Tell it to quit calling. I could do that. I wish I had the top of a soda bottle. That would work too. Let's see. At the other house, I have, the mail lady is just going down the street. I'll quit walking around like I'm lost here in a minute. Let's see. Oh. Washi tape, where are you when I need you? She's just going down the hill toward the lake, so it'll be a little bit before she gets back up this way. But maybe she'll have my lavender and I can do some lavender ones. All right, let's get a piece of kitty cat tape off from here. Oh, if I can just find the end. There it is. This is the cheap washi tape, so. Yeah, I have funnels at the other house. probably in a box. But we can make a funnel real quick. No biggie. There we go. Funnel made. Now I could just use my cup. Stick it in there. That might be more than it'll hold, but we'll see. I might need something to poke. Some of those rose petals are still pretty large. I'm just poking it, see if I can get it to go down in there. It's getting there. Use the eraser end, that helps. I can get some more in there. Woo, not that much. Goodness, it's almost 4 already, and we've only gotten one of these made. That's all right. That's pretty good. Because I want to leave room to, I'm going to set this on the floor. I want to turn this under the 1/4 inch, if I can. So I've turned it under about a 1/4 inch, just eyeballing. And I was thinking I would add a strip of this lace on here and stitch through it as well. One pin would probably hold it, and it'll end up looking like a pillow with a pillowcase on it this way. All right. I might have to switch back to a foot that I can do a zigzag, because then I could just zigzag across the bottom of the lace trim and you wouldn't be able to see it as much. So there's one little guy. Oh yeah. Most definitely. And I've also made these out of tightly woven intricate laces as well. They make really pretty ones, and the scent can get out you know, more. Boy, that school bus is running late tonight. I wonder what I don't remember it going this late. It's almost 4 o'clock. No, that's about right. 4 o'clock. What I was thinking 5 o'clock. When Scott's off and we're just, you know, doing whatever we want each day. Some days it's like, what day is it? What time is it? I guess, Mary, that's where it comes in, where you said to set a time a couple times a week, to just have a set time to do something. So you don't get lost in that what day is it syndrome. It's a real thing. Other days it's like, I don't care what day it is. These are cute. They've got little hearts on them. I don't know if y'all saw that or not. See the little hearts in the vines? And I did I wanted to do it with this fabric because it's got both pink and kind of purple on it. So I could use lavender or rose and use this piece of fabric up too. All right, shall we try to fill this one back up and then I'll stitch them. I just got to change the foot on there. Yeah, I've been getting up with you. So I've been getting up early on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Of course, this morning I was sleeping good in the chair and Callie was on me and she was purring. And I said, well, I don't know if I want to get up and move just yet. And then she sensed I was awake and she went, and I was like, oh no, it's over with now. And then they started digging on stuff and knocking things over. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm up. Next time I'll lay perfectly still and try not to change my breathing pattern at all. Okay. If I sew past the corner, well, when I stitch these up, I just stitched down and it's stitched down on the next pocket. Then I took the first pocket and I stitched across and unattached this one and stitched across just so I could save on thread. So they were stitched all the way to the edge. And then I just trimmed the corner to turn. I've got this little turning tool thing too that helps a lot. You could almost make dollhouse pillows like this with something inside like this that would smell good in a dollhouse. That would be a neat little plan. All right. I like doing just a couple hours on Tuesdays so I can save a lot of my energy for Wednesday nights when we come on. And I have just discovered today with talking with Mary this morning in chat, I said, well, man, I need to get my list going. I've made my list and I have so much to get caught up on that we will probably skip Dirty Dozen this week. I hate to say it, but I've got to get my October paper bag journal page done. I'd like to do a face in my face journal. I've got another painty paper journal I still haven't sewed together. I'll see how much of it I can get done tonight. And then we'll see where we stand. Because like I said, I've got a lot to do to keep us up and going. So there, I'm going to stitch these across, but I'm going to switch to a zigzag stitch. Eva's bought some linen. Yeah, I am not too good about doing lists. I'm usually a just jump in and get it done type person. That was one of my downfalls in management is I hated lists so much. Maybe that's why I hated doing them at home because I had to do so many at work. I'd love to go hang out with Tanya for a weekend and learn about all these feet I have in here and what they do. I can do basic sewing, but the fancy stuff I have never learned. Come on. There it goes. And let's see, not that. I want there. Let's see. I'm just going to run these through on a zigzag and come back. Come back. Come back. Did I get it down too far? No. There it goes. I've got too wide of a stitch, but I'm going to make it work. Now, if you wanted to make them a little bit bigger and put a drawstring on them, then you could switch out the scents. But most of the time, sachets are, just sewn shut and just used. These are so stinking cute. All right. I might save the rest of this and mix whatever lavender I finally get in the mail. And so there'll be lavender and rose scented, the rest of them. I like that idea. Yeah, I've got my manual here somewhere. It's just having someone like Tanya to sit with me and work through it, since she used to teach classes and she used to sell sewing machines. I guess I just need to get it out and practice more, doing a variety of things. So that is the two things we were going to do today. We got our sachets and my mess. What's bad is I keep thinking I've got little bits of stuff on this dress, and it's all just made to look like little bits of stuff together. So it's not helping. So there's the little sachets that look like little pillows. And then, oops, here's this here. I've got an extra piece of lace. I'm going to cut that off since you can't see it on the inside anyway. That's going to bother me that it sticks out in there. So there's your sewing scissors and the sachets. So I'm going to get my planner book here somewhere. These are the pens I got that I said don't use for Inktober. They're the Gelosity by Bic, because I ended up getting ink all over my hand. So I'm going to cross off pot holders because we kind of did that today, and sachets, and somewhere on here is scissor holders, I think. No, but I'm going to just write it on here. We did the scissor holder. Thank you, guys. So next week, I've gotten on here Tooth Fairy pillows, and I got a remnant of flannel that is basically for Tooth Fairy pillows because it's got fairies all over it. So I was thinking maybe next week we could do Tooth Fairy pillows. Is everybody okay with that? So maybe we'll do Tooth Fairy pillows next week, and we could combine these other two. I have listed pouch for small goodies and then quick gift bags. So y'all want to do that next week? Tooth Fairy pillows, pouch for small goodies, and quick gift bags. That'll be next week on Tuesday. So I've even started doing a calendar and all this stuff. Y'all making me get all organized. Today was sachets, scissor keepers, and pot holders. And then next week, we will do Tooth Fairy pillows, small goodie bags. I thought we ought to do the small goodie bags in time so people, if they wanted to, they could make goodie bags. Goodie. How do you spell goodie? Oh, bags. I know what I'm talking about. In case they wanted to do them up for Halloween trick-or-treaters. I don't get any trick-or-treaters anymore. Oh, no, Mary. And then quick gift bags. Quick gift bags. And I can tell y'all how to make different size bags that are like lunch bags that will actually stand up. They won't necessarily, it depends on the fabric too. If you use a flimsy fabric like velveteen or like a lining fabric, that's going to just flop. But if you use a cotton fabric, once we sew a square bottom on it, it'll mostly stand up. So we can do the standing up type bags. They're a quick way to wrap gifts, and they can reuse the fabric bags. If you do, like at Christmas, this is what I like to do. Do the bags in kind of a plain red or whatever, and then maybe trim with lace, because then they can turn around and use those at Valentine's Day. So I try to give it, the gift wrapping is also a gift type routine. I know the kids, I made those Santa sacks. Was it last year or the year before? And the kids absolutely flipped out over that they each got their own Santa sack. So if I have enough of those materials, I can show you guys how to do Santa sacks, but we might do that closer to Christmas, if y'all don't mind, because they were absolutely a delight to make. Velvet is usually, if it's true velvet, it's not washable. It's dry clean only. If it's that, what's they call it? Micro suede. It can be washed, but I would do that on gentle cycle too, and maybe just let it air dry. Yeah, because velvet is kind of a pain in the neck to sew, at least for me. I made, somewhere there's a picture of Greg and my nephew, and then 3 or 4 of my nieces all in velvet outfits. The boys didn't have velvet vests. I made them like a Christmas vest to wear, but the girls all had green velvet dresses. I thought I was going to lose my mind before I got them all sewed up. I did several dresses. The youngest baby was in a jumper that I made, but we did a picture for my parents of all of their grandchildren at that time, and they were all done up in kind of matching little outfits. They were so stinking cute. Now they're all grown, although the ones in that picture, they're all grown and out on their own now. And we've got the twins and stuff now that are, it's like a whole separate generation within the grandchildren of my parents. So it's kind of interesting. I was trying to think if there's you might want to just Google if there's a kind of a test to find out if it's true real velvet or if it's like the velveteen. Usually the velveteen stuff though is real stretchy, and the velvet will be kind of stiff and have kind of a sturdy backing to it, where the velveteen is just a woven fabric. You might have to show me Friday night, Mary, and I might can tell from just you showing it to me. A velvet test, yes. I have not done walker or wheelchair bags, but they would be a fun one to do too. But I think there's lots of patterns out there on the internet. Yeah, save it out and we'll look at it Friday. So tomorrow night, I want to get my October paper bag page done, because if I don't, I won't get it done. And I need it done because y'all have been sending me stuff and I don't have anywhere to put it. October paper bag page. I want to do another, I'm going to have to go get something to drink. I'm going to have to do another patch for my fabric journal too, because I really like to do that. I'd like to do that tomorrow night. Maybe we'll do Dirty Dozen just every other week, and then that'll give me a chance to do projects that I need to catch up on. My Facebook, I need to do a face in there. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm about to choke to death here. I've got cards I need to make too. I got to do my handmade cards for this week. So, and I need to mail them out. Has anybody heard from Lisa today? Is she doing okay? I hadn't seen the list to sign up for the coins over on her group. Yeah, I need to add more to this list. Mario says she'll work along on the paper bag. If you don't know what we're talking about, I've been making a paper bag, lunch bag page for each month of the year. And then I turn it into its own little 6-month journal, put them in a journal by themselves. It turns out to be a really chunky journal, but I think I'm going to enjoy looking back at them. Oh, let's see. So we wrote down what we're going to do next Tuesday. So I know that I need to. I've got fiberfill here, so that's what I'm going to use. But if you wanted to get a small pillow form, you can, but it's not necessary. You can just use fiberfill. And small goodie bags, just use whatever you have. You don't have to go out and get anything. And quick bags, that's quick gift bags, that's the same thing. If you want to make them just for a specific holiday and you want to go buy, like birthday fabric that's got balloons on it, or if you want to make it, just a flowered bag. See, the things like that, if you do something that's kind of generic, but in the colors of the season or holiday, they can use them for something else. Like kids can use the like a drawstring bag as their pajama bag to put on their bed. So their pajamas are somewhere nice and neat. But your regular walker has nothing. Gloria, your walker, does it have where you can turn around and sit down? Or is it just a straight frame walker? The reason I'm asking is the lady that was next door to me several years back, she got a walker and it had the seat that she could sit down on, but it also had like the seat lifted and she could put things, and she would use it to go out to the end of the driveway and get her mail, and she'd put her mail in her seat. And then that way, if she got tired between the mailbox and the house, she could turn around and sit down, and or if she wanted to talk with me in the yard or whatever, I could stand out there and talk to her, and she could sit on her walker frame. My group is Aunt Beck's Creations. But what the thing is we've set it to private now simply because I want to keep it at a reasonable size. We have room for people to join, but I think I have to add you. So if you are on Facebook and you would like to join the group, you'll have to contact me on Facebook, and I'll put my name in here so you can find me on Facebook. And just send me a message. And when you send me a friend request, if you can send me a private message through Facebook to let me know who you are and what you're interested in, so that I can tie it together, because your YouTube name and your Facebook name, Jean, might be different, just like mine is. And I don't want to just add people that just want to join to bombard us with, ads and stuff. I want the group to be fun and interactive. Does that make sense? I hope so. Oh, okay. Oh, God. Hang on. Hey, I guess I hit the mother load.
Today you did. I want one of these. I don't mind. Oh, goodness. Thank you so much.
You have a wonderful day. Sorry, guys. It was my mail lady. I hit the mother load. She wanted to know where I got my carolinapeace.org bumper sticker, and I said, well, if you go to carolinapeace.org, you could probably get you one. I'm getting a knife so we can see what's in here. Let's see. These can't all be mine. We're going to do a mail call while we're here. Gloria, I will see what I can find for, let's add that to our list of projects. Where is it? Walker. I guess I call it just a walker bag. I'll put it on there. I know what I'm looking for. And we'll add that on there. I don't know when we'll get to it, but I'm thinking we're going to have to keep this going after the 6 weeks is up that I had originally planned to do. I'm opening this like it's mine. It is. Oh, I'm glad I didn't cut it. Look. Woohoo! And I got me a fancy band for my Fitbit. And then I got this book because I had to check it out. Storytelling with Collage. And Mary, as much as you love storytelling, I'm going to look through it and I'll do a review and mark some things that I find interesting and share them tomorrow night. So my afternoon is taken care of now. Oh my gosh, this lavender, you guys, smells wonderful. This is a lot of lavender. I can't remember how much I paid for that. I think it was like $8. Well, I got stuff to make sachets. Woohoo! I'll put my roses in there with it. That says Jeffrey, so that's Scott. Oh, that's Scott's pile. I got another round robin in. Y'all want to see it? Might have to lift you up. That's something else I've got to add to my stuff I've got to get done. I've got these 2 round robins. They're the last ones. These are the last ones I have to add a round to, and then I'll get mine back. Hopefully it's still moving along. This is the one, I've got that pink and green one I need to work on, but this is the one that I've been most excited about working on. Let me move Barb's address, because this is Barb Filion's quilt, and she is in my quilting group as well as in Aunt Beck's Creations. So she did not want to do Christmas. Oh, wow. Hang on. Let me lift you guys up. Excuse any mess that could be in the background. All right, you ready for this? Look at this. Isn't that gorgeous? And Anne does the most amazing applique. She appliqued all of these elephants around the edge. Isn't that stinking adorable? Barb, if you're in here, don't look unless you want to see. She's already seen a picture of it. But oh my goodness, I can't wait to do something on this. And then I'm going to send it back to Barb. So I can't wait. I want to pull some of the colors out of the elephant. See the inner 12-inch border, inner block in the middle is her starter block. And then all these other ladies have added borders. So I'm just excited about it. I can't wait to, I went and bought all these batiks. Now I got to figure out what I'm going to do, and I need to do it quickly. So that was Barb's. Oh, and hey, hello, how are you? Oh, and what's this other box? I don't remember ordering anything else. Oh, I've got something that says create on it. This says Whole Foods. That's the bad thing. When I'm tired and I go on Amazon, I order stuff I don't know. Oh, it's the other. I ordered a second band. Because this one was acting weird, so it's just another band. That's okay. That's the one I really liked. Hopefully it'll fit this thing. I just liked it because it looked artistic. Well, hey, Janet, I thought you've been here. All right. This is from Kendra. I'm trying not to use my good scissors on paper. I wasn't really expecting anything, I don't think, from Kendra. Trying not to show addresses at the same time. Yes, the quilting group is on Facebook as well. And again, it's another closed group because we've been together for so long, but we've been accepting just a few members here and there, Gloria. But I can add you if you're interested. Oh, yes, now I remember. She sent me some of the mega load of paper doilies that she got. Did y'all see her picture on Facebook of all those doilies? And she said, Happy Mail is coming. I forgot about that. So that's awesome. Now I've got some delightful doilies. The rest of this looks like bills. Ugh. I can keep that. I love it when things come to Jeff or Jeffrey instead of Scott, because I'm not used to calling him Jeff. I know that's his name, but I'm just not used to it. Ugh. And Dell wants me to buy yet another computer. I'm good. One's enough. Yeah, my hair, it's getting long enough I can pull it back off my face. I can't stand anything on my face. I just never have. It's because my grandmother would pull my hair back straight off my face all the time. She didn't want me chewing on my hair. She hated that. That was one of her pet peeves about little girls, chewing on their hair. Oh, I said hi. Okay, so Gloria Adams. Are you Gloria Adams on Facebook as well? Most of the ladies in my quilt group, we've been together since AOL days, I think. I'm pretty sure it's been over 20 years that we've been doing swaps and sharing patterns. Barb actually came out with a really fun idea about doing, not mailing anything to each other at all, but having like a monthly challenge quilt that we would work on for ourselves. And each person in the group is supposed to post a link to a block that they would like to in a sampler quilt. And so each month will be a different block. It could be a block you've never tried before. It could be an easy block. It can be a hard block. It's just to stretch your abilities. And so I'm hoping everybody in the group will take a month. We've only gotten like 4 or 5 people that have given me a block so far. Maybe I need to go on there and give a nudge. But I was thinking how fun that could be for just the YouTube channel here, where we could maybe come up with, for the Aunt Beck's Creations journal group, or what, I don't know what we'd call it, but something. And then each person would say, okay, the theme for this month is kind of like Cindy and Gina do in their group, where they give like just a general guideline, or maybe we could do it instead of doing like a theme. Maybe we could do a technique, like each month try a different technique. I don't know. It's something to think about. Uh-oh, you're buffering. Yeah, my grandmother would, if she caught me chewing on my hair went back hard. You love lists? I'm getting to where lists are helpful, especially since I'm almost 55 and things don't always stay upstairs. I used to remember stuff. Oh, Gloria, I'm sorry about that. It's a shame your groups don't do a online presence where you could still participate together, via online. But you're welcome to join our little group. I know a lot of them don't want it to go over a certain amount, so we stay small so we can keep track of swaps and stuff. When a group gets really, really huge, you lose the group integrity. You lose the close feeling. You lose the ability to what is it called? Scott told me the other day. Any groups over 200 people have a tendency of just kind of falling apart really fast. And when you're in a smaller group, like I don't want more than like 75 people in my Aunt Beck's creation, simply because I want it to stay close and tight knit. And there are so many groups available online that if you don't get into mine, just feel free to join another. Like Lisa has a fabulous group too, and Melissa at 70 Acre Studio has a group, and there's enough groups. I don't know about y'all, but I can only be involved in like maybe up to 6 groups at a time, but I'd like to stay at 2 or 3 at the most, because I just get overwhelmed because I want to do it all. I want to be everywhere. I want to do everything. And you can't do that. So anyway, I'll look for that. And then, yeah, I don't know what all that other stuff was. It's addressed to Scott. What he'll do is he'll say, oh, it's a bill, and he'll hand it back to me. So yeah, because that's just how we've always worked it. I manage the money, he makes the money. So it works out that way. Yes, Gloria, exactly. If the group gets too large, then it's not cohesive enough. And I think the max on our quilt group is like 35 people. I can't really look right now, but I think we're almost there. But we'd welcome you, since, I mean, you can't get out and go to your group there, so you might as well join us. Well, let's see, what time is it? It's only 4:30, and I usually go till 5. But I'm thinking of what else I need to get done tomorrow night. And Mary said she would work on her paper bag journal page with me tomorrow night. I want to do another page in that fabric journal, and those take some time. And then I might go ahead and do my Facebook sketch and then share it with you guys. I want to share my my book page I did for Jerry Bellini's altered book. I don't know if I've shared that one with the group. Altered book. And I found, I think I told you all about it, but I brought a little chalkboard up that I'm going to put somewhere where I can see it. And I'm going to list everything I've started, like the face journal, the fabric journal, the book with Jerry. What else have I started? I've got a bunch of stuff started that I just need to have it where I can see it and say, no, you have enough to do already, and not sign up for anything else. I've got a pair of Greg's old jeans. I'd love to do a jean journal, fabric journal. Once this one's finished, I'm not going to do it right now. I'm not adding anything else to it. You're welcome, Gloria. And when we do swaps, Gloria, in there, we generally will wait until one swap is completed before we start another. But we do have the round robins that are currently out are almost all to their final couple stops. So I went ahead and I have added there's a block swap. You'll see when I get you signed in there, that we're going to do it's a real simple block, and you make one for each person that's participating. So each person will have one of each other person's work, and then you can put them together for a table topper, or save them for a larger quilt, or just hold them and see if we do some more blocks that'll go with them. But it's a really fun group. Yeah, where you do the double 4-patch, where you do 2 blocks that are tiny 4 patches, and then you add a large cream to each corner. So you have a large 4-patch with 2 small 4 patches. Yes, that's the one. Janet's in the group too. And it's going to be a super, super easy block to do. Anne already did several of them and shared them. But it's fall theme. So you want fall theme colors and a cream for your larger squares. I'm sure everybody that doesn't care about quilting is probably going, what? How'd we get on quilting? But it just happens that way sometimes. Oh, you're a queen of UFOs? Well, I have a few. Yeah. Yay, Janet. So are you going to participate, Janet? That'd be awesome. The ladies are all wonderful. In fact, Diane has invited me to come up to Maine, Scott and I, to stay with them for a few days. But we got to find some time that we have somebody that can watch all of the cats and dogs, and we're in one house and that kind of stuff. Yay. But we've done just some ideas that maybe we can warp into just general mixed media art type things that I have done with my quilting group. We have taken ugly fabric from our stash. We don't remember how it got there, but what you do is you would take like a quarter yard to a half a yard, and you would send it to somebody else. And when they receive it, they have to take your ugly fabric. We could almost do this with ugly paper if you guys wanted to. You would take your whatever ugly you got and you turn it into something pretty, and then you mail it back to them. And I've done that. I've made tote bags. I've made a table topper, a small quilt, a table runner, a candle mat. There's so much you can do with fabric. But I don't see why we couldn't do it as a fun little swap where we just mail a piece of old ugly scrapbook paper off to somebody, and they could take it and turn it into maybe a set of cards for us. Or, I don't know. Y'all have to help me think of some ideas that we could do with just ugly paper. Yeah, I think we could really turn it into something fun with just some ugly paper. I have some ugly paper in my stash. I can tell you that right now. There's some papers that I will never use unless I paint over them. And it wouldn't cost a lot to mail a sheet of paper to somebody, because that's all you would mail. You would mail one sheet of paper, and then they could turn it into a set of cards or whatever they come up with. Decorate a box with it. Anything ugly cut small looks great. You did that in the brown bag exchange. Now, Gloria, I'm interested. What is a brown bag exchange? Is it like the ugly fabric swap? Oh, now see, a brown bag exchange could be fun with mixed media type stuff in it. And I think I've seen somebody show like a loaded envelope, but we could do it in just a simple brown bag. Not always ugly to everyone. Well, that's true. Or scraps of fabric. Hey, even scraps of fabric, you guys, we could send and use in mixed media. I don't know if anybody watches them, but there's a couple gentlemen, Arne and Carlos. If you have not watched Arne and Carlos, you need to. They have just did a video on how they do a crazy quilt, and they just use random bits, and they pick stuff up at the thrift store. They use materials from clothing they used to design in a previous lifetime. They were clothing designers, and now they do crochet and knit pattern designers is what they basically do. But they talk about their garden, and they talk about knitting and crocheting and quilting and places they've been, and they're just I just love to watch them. I could sit and watch them all the time. And their accents, I love their accents too. Oh, that's an excellent idea. The hide the ugly fabric in a brown bag. And then this was something you did in person, I take it, where you would just hand the brown bags out, but nobody would see what was inside until the end, or, you know, once they got it. That just sounds like a hilarious time. That just sounds like so much fun. And I bet there was some ugly fabric sometimes. How does that stuff get in our stash? Does somebody gift it to us? That's what I've always wondered. Okay, guys. Well, I've blabbled my mouth for 10 minutes on nothing. Let's see. I think my glasses are dirty. That just sounds like so much fun, but I still think a brown bag full of goodies would be fun to play with. And we could just send a goodie bag out to a partner, and they could make something and send it back. Even if it's one of the little lunch bag journals, if you sent just little bits of paper and stuff, I could come up with stuff like that. That would be fun. And if you sent big enough pieces of paper that they could get them in a punch, you could punch out shapes out of their ugly materials as well. Something to think about. I just think that brown bag idea sounds like fun. I'm going to turn back. I'm running out of places to put stuff. This was from September. Where are my October pages too? Got some October pages here. I need to get my Halloween cards mailed out. All right, I've already done this. Okay. I'm just going to put over here brown bag exchange under ideas. Brown bag exchange. That just sounds like so much fun. I don't know why I grabbed a red pen. I don't like red pens. It makes me think of elementary school and check marks. Fill bag with random stuff. Send to partner. To make art for you. Yeah, and it could be a canvas. You could just glue the stuff down and turn it into something fun that way. Oh, what does she say here? Yeah, and like the little pieces like this, a lot of times I will just chunk it away. But like Mindy was saying, even these little bits can be used in fiber art, because you can put this down. What is that stuff? You can, even pieces of thread. I can't remember what that material was called, that we would put all this stuff down, and then you could, I just don't remember. And then you would stitch across it and hold all this stuff together. That's always a lot of fun. Well, Gloria, when you get in the group, you'll have to be chatty and bring up ideas. But keep in mind, with the group we have, they like to complete one swap or exchange or round robin or something, because you get too much going and they get confused. And I know Diane, one of our members, she is a long arm quilter. And I think another one of the ladies is also a long arm quilter. So they stay busy quilting other people's quilts. But they do like to join in on the fun. And we've been, like I said, we've been together online for years and years. In fact, I went back to Yahoo, and our group is still on Yahoo under the same name. And I was able to find an old address list. So I'm going to write to some of the gals that haven't transitioned over to Facebook and see if they want to come and find us, because we lost track of a couple of them. So I'm hoping to reconnect. Maybe that's who I'll send my cards to this week. Fusing and snippets. Yeah, the fusing bit. I knew there was something fusing material that you would use, but I couldn't remember the name of it. Jean, how many did you make? How many hedgehogs have you made? They are so much fun. I made a tan one and mailed it to somebody, but I did not think of the idea of putting the marbles in the bottom of the little guy until this time. And I said, you know what? He needs some marbles so he'll stay upright. And that just works perfect. I just think he turned out so cute. And I can't wait till Mary gets Pepe done, because that's going to be stinking cute too. You made 16 hedgehogs. You did not. Really? Wow, that's a lot of hedgehogs. That's amazing. I bet they look so cute all lined up though. Oh, that's awesome. Yay! Jean wins for the most hedgehogs. That's so cute. Wonderful. I love it. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go, and I will be on tomorrow night. And I'm going to share with Mary and everybody else these Sharpie pens I found. I'm not going to do it today. I got to save something for tomorrow night. I'm going to put on here Sharpie pens. So I'll be on tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And I'll wait till you're there, Mary, to show the Sharpie pens. But they're not like what you showed. They're different. And I'm going to open them and try them out too. And then I'll do a book review on that book once I flip through it. Book review. I'm going to have this book where I can look at it, or I might copy my list on another piece of paper. Okay, guys, I'm going to let you go. And I'm looking forward to next week when we'll make Tooth Fairy pillows, small goodie bags, and quick bags. So if you just got here and you missed today, wait till it processes. Come back and watch it. And you can make a scissor keeper and some sachets. This is what we made today. Ta-da! Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.